Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I'm Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2022 Chevy Corvette, the C8 Corvette, courtesy of Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because it is the 2022 C8 Corvette, and I have yet to review this thing, so I am quite excited, needless to say. And we do have the convertible today, as you guys can clearly tell, so we're going to find out if the extra $7,500 is actually worth it for the convertible as well. And so ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. So as you can imagine, there are a few different trim levels for the 2022 C8 Corvette. First one being the 1LT, starting at $73,095. 2LT for $79,895, and the 3LT for $84,545. But regardless of which trim level that you go with, the power plant on this beast is going to be the same. Powering the C8 is a 6.2-liter direct injected V8, putting out 490 horsepower at around 6,400 RPM, 465 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 5,100 RPM. I want to also mention, though, there is a C51 performance package that is available. That is going to bump those power numbers up to 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, sent to rear wheels through an 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which we're going to be testing out here in a little bit. 0 to 60 time is going to come in at approximately 3 seconds flat, or 2.8 seconds for the Z51. Top speed 184 miles per hour, with MPG numbers coming in at 16 in the city, 24 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. We said that before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the C8, I wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes. There is actually a circular dial located just to the right of the shift buttons there that's going to give you Tour, Weather, Sport, Track, My Mode, and Z Mode. Those last two are essentially the customizable modes, but adjusting things like the shift points and throttle response, steering sensitivity, suspension settings, and the braking response actually as well. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2022 Chevy Corvette C8 here up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go baby. Shoot! Ah! Wow, that was freaking amazing. That took me back to my Audi R8 test drive. That thing, this is ridiculous, son. Wow, that was fun. I'm gonna have to do that again a little bit later, but that is definitely gonna put a smile on your face. Needless to say, you're not gonna have any issues merging onto the highway. The paddle shifters were ridiculously quick. They feel insanely high quality. You get a little bit of a pop when you shift gears as well. And like I said, the best part about it is this isn't all-wheel drive, and there wasn't any spinning, there wasn't any loss of grip whatsoever. It instantly put the power to the ground, which is weird because a lot of rear-wheel drive cars like the Camaro, like the Mustang, cars like that, you're just spinning. With the C8 Corvette, maybe it's because it's a mid-engine, there was no spinning whatsoever. So it was like an all-wheel drive acceleration. That was wonderful, without a doubt. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 13.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13.8-inch ventilated rear discs. And of course, a Brembo braking setup is going to come standard across the board. That pretty much says it all right there. But on top of that, if you were to go with the Z51, you're actually going to get upgraded brakes, so a little larger brakes as well. So overall, as far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, just tapping the brakes here, probably the most firm braking feel I have ever tested within my past 600 plus test drives. It instantly brings you to a stop. 60-0 stopping distance is 97 feet, which is certainly probably the best I've ever tested yet again. That stopping distance number is insane. Usually you get upper 130s in SUVs, usually 120s in sports sedans. I know my Mustang was 99 feet, so with C8 Corvette coming in at 97 has got to be the best braking I have ever experienced. And like I said, extremely firm braking feel to this thing. But anyway, then touching on suspension and handling, you're gonna get a short and long arm devil wishbone type suspension, direct acting stabilizer bar in the back as well. And the Z51 package is actually going to add a performance adjustable suspension, allowing it to be lowered for the track, of course. And there is magnetic ride control available as well. So I always like to recommend that one because it monitors each shock absorber individually, not only giving you a smoother ride, adjusting to the road imperfections, but also tightening up the suspension during heavy cornering, really giving you the best of both worlds. That's definitely an option I always like to recommend. And having said that, ride quality it's probably the first thing I noticed, surprisingly, even in a Corvette. It's insanely smooth. This thing almost rides like a luxury car for what it is. I'll put it that way. It doesn't ride like an S-Class, I guess you could say, but it rides extremely smooth. It very much surprised me for what this car is. So ride quality is 100% on point. Steering feel, it's like a little go-kart, man. And it adjusts based on the drive modes as well. So steering feel is 100% on point. Cabin noise, obviously we're in a convertible, so you're gonna get a little bit of wind noise because we're in a convertible, so that's perfectly fine. And touching on visibility, I don't know. There is a little bit of a window right here, so even with the top down, that window kind of hinders it a little bit. But other than that, if that was gone, this would be 100% perfect. And also touching on visibility, I am looking at a head-up display right now, giving me my speed limit, what gear I'm in, and safety features as well. So that's definitely going to assist with visibility there too. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2022 Chevy Corvette. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2022 Chevy Corvette. Definitely a very nice looking spec on this one. Let me actually first touch on the convertible spec, speaking of. So as I said at the beginning of the video, the convertible adds $7,500 over the standard coupe version. So this is what that looks like essentially. It just adds 77 pounds, that's it, so that's not that bad. It retracts in only 16 seconds, also very quick. And the coolest part is, it can actually operate at speeds up to 30 miles per hour. So if you're on some back roads maybe and it starts to rain all of a sudden, you can actually put the convertible top back up in 16 seconds at up to 30 miles per hour. So that's pretty cool. And it actually uses 6 electric motors as well. A couple different ways to go ahead and operate this. Easiest way from outside the vehicle, of course, is just to use the key fob. So I wanted to show that to you guys real quick, but that is how the convertible end of things operates. But let's go ahead and start up front. Of course, you have some massive air curtains, if you even want to call them that, to the left and to the right. Plenty of gloss black accents up front. You got the Corvette lettering found just underneath of that front line there. Also the Corvette badging, of course, as well. There's going to be a matte black front lip, so it definitely gives a more aggressive appearance there. To the sides, LED headlights do come standard with LED daytime running lights, and you do get the automatic feature with that as well, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, those headlights are going to turn on automatically for you there. I did want to also mention though, since like I mentioned, this is a mid-engine, I think everyone knows that at this point, you actually have a frunk. That is pretty cool, and a decent amount of space within that frunk as well, meaning front trunk. So definitely some added storage there. So that's always good for some added utility of this thing, because a lot of people think sports cars, you can't live with them on a regular basis, but there's actually another trunk in the back as well. So you got 2 trunks. That is pretty cool. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. So now, since we are around to the side of the Corvette, body colored power adjustable side mirrors do come standard. They will be heated as well with LED integrated turn signals. They will also be, though, power folding with the driver's side auto dimming mirror as well. So somebody has their high beams on behind you, let's say, you got an auto dimming rear view mirror, of course, but also an auto dimming driver's side mirror, which you don't usually get on other vehicles out there. So I wanted to emphasize that. Massive air vents, of course, towards the back with some gloss black accents that assists with helping keeping the engine cool, of course. And Corvette racing themed graphic package that's available for $525. I wanted to mention that because we have that, so you guys can tell by the Stingray R logo on the front doors, and also there is a graphic on the hood then as well. So a little bit of uniqueness making this vehicle its own, really. But then taking a look at the wheel setup, 19 inches up front, 20 inches in the back. Yes, it is a staggered fitment, as most performance cars will have, and it is a 5-spoke standard design, as you guys can clearly see. I believe silver is the standard design, although we do have the black wheels today, and there are plenty of other wheel configurations available as well. But pretty much rounds out the side of this thing. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so first thing I wanted to mention, since we are around to the back here, the one big differentiating factor between the coupe and the convertible, of course, with the exception of the roof, is the fact that you can't see the engine on the convertible. So if you were to open and close that convertible, you're actually going to find that there's no view of the engine. So with the coupe, you can actually show it off. With the convertible, you can't see it. So I did want to mention that, but plenty of rear spoilers available for this one. The Z51 style is particularly my favorite. That's what you guys are currently looking at. And it's a couple different finishes as well. You can get a body colored or a gloss black, or a couple different finishes. Like I said, Corvette lettering spelled out horizontally, finished in gloss black yet again. You do have LED taillights in typical Corvette fashion. That looks pretty darn good back there as well. Just below it all, you have somewhat of a gloss black rear diffuser. And then to the sides, get ready, you guys, the exhaust clip is coming soon. Dual exhaust outlets with quad stainless steel tips, and there is a performance exhaust available with the Z51 package. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the C8 Corvette here, when it comes to opening that rear trunk, there is a button on the key fob. There is also actually a button on the driver's side door as well, but once opened up, cargo capacity is going to come in at 12.6 cubic feet, so actually a decent amount of space back there. Keep in mind, if you just get done driving for a long time, since the engine is back there, when you open it up for a first time, it is going to be a little bit hot back there, but it's really not that bad. So just keep that in mind though. The other cool thing about the trunk is when you actually close it, it's a soft close trunk like Mercedes-Benz and BMW does with their doors a lot of times. Chevy apparently did with the C8 Corvette. So you just have to get it close and it's going to automatically kind of like suction it back in. So that is a pretty cool feature as well. But then since there's no back seats, let's go ahead and make our way up to the front seats here. 8-way power adjustable front seats do come standard. GT bucket seats are going to be the standard configuration. GT2 bucket seats coming with the 3 LT trim level only. Having said that, if you guys are curious, you are looking at the GT bucket seats right now. Heated and ventilated front seats coming with the 2 LT and 3 LT trim levels. As far as seat comfort goes in our GT bucket seats, perfectly fine. Definitely love the bolsters on these seats. It helps hold you in place perfectly fine there, so no issues with seat comfort whatsoever. And take a look at the steering wheel, one of my favorite parts actually. Tilt and telescoping, of course. It is actually power adjustable. That does come standard. It is leather wrapped and it is heated for the 2 and 3 LT trims, and it is essentially, I don't know what you would call that. I believe you would call it a hexagon steering wheel or hexagonal steering wheel, because I believe there are 6 sides here. I can't really tell. It's either a square or a hexagon. One or the other. I think it's a hexagon, but I love it because to me, turning in this thing feels absolutely right. So I am a huge fan of the shape of the steering wheel as well. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the gauges. It is a full digital gauge cluster. It's a full 12-inch digital gauge cluster to be exact. When you adjust the drive modes, you're going to get notification up on those gauges as well, of course. And you can control different things using the steering wheel mounted controls up on the digital portion of those gauges. For example, you have a performance timer. You can actually set a 0 to 60. If you wanted to time your best 0 to 60 time, that's always fun. You got trip A, trip B, outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, apparently when you need your next oil life as well. That's always pretty cool. So pretty much everything you could possibly want up on the digital portion of the gauges there. I think I'm gonna leave it on the 0 to 60 timer. I think that's pretty darn cool. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. Orange seatbelts are available, yellow seatbelts are available. There's plenty of customization that is available for this thing, so I want to start by saying that. Carbon fiber trim is available. The 2 LT and 3 LT trims are actually going to add universal home remote, aka garage door openers for up to 3 different garage doors. There's a wireless phone charger with those 2 trims as well. It's going to be located kind of in the back here between the 2 seats. I got my phone charge in there right now, actually. There is a rear view camera as well, which I am looking at right now. I think that's super cool, but you can flip it back to the regular rear view mirror. But don't also mention there is a rear view camera, so that is pretty darn cool. I love that. And overall, essentially all of your buttons are going to be located on this kind of like row of buttons, essentially dividing the passenger and driver seat here from your climate control, heated and ventilated seat buttons, pretty much all the basics when it comes to climate control, I guess you could say. Another cool thing about the Corvette is to open the glove box, there's actually a kind of hidden button located in between the 2 air vents there on the passenger side. So wanted to mention that as well, since it's a little bit different. I love the red contrast stitching going through the doors as well as just above those passenger passenger side air vents as well. So red contrast stitching looks really good with our black and red interior here. You got dual cup holders located kind of just behind the shift buttons there within the center armrest. You have actually a USB charging port, auxiliary port, and a regular phone charging port there as well. So honestly, this is a very nice interior. It's kind of luxury-like, so I'm a huge fan of what we got going on here. But so now let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen. 8-inch color touchscreen display is going to come standard. Bluetooth and audio streaming coming with that. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You will get factory navigation system if you were to go with the 2LT or 3LT trim levels. You can, of course, adjust your radio information up there as well, and also climate control settings. And there is also a lap timer that will record your fastest lap time. And apparently all you need is an SD card, so that is pretty cool. I like the picture that they put of the C8 Corvette up there as well. But anyways, back to the radio information. There are a couple different sound systems available for the C8 Corvette. You will get a Bose 10-speaker sound system for the 1LT, and then a Bose 14-speaker sound system for the 2LT and the 3LT trim levels. So having said that, what do you say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. We do have the Bose 14-speaker sound system with us here today, so let's see what we got playing, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Bass is insane. Clarity is 100% on point. As I always say, I've had Bose sound systems in my cars before. They have never ever failed me. Bose is a very reputable company, and there was plenty of loudness for a convertible like the C8 Corvette here that we have today. So 100% sound system is on point. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the C8 in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard. You got a couple different views there to choose from as well. And as I mentioned earlier, you got the rear camera mirror as well. So plenty of different ways you can check out what is behind you. But as always, that is going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard, tire pressure monitoring system, rear parking sensors coming standard as well, and side blind zone alert if you were to go with the 2LT or 3LT trim levels. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the C8, insanely quick, very quick paddle shifters, so huge fan of that. The braking is unbelievable. The best braking I've ever experienced in any cars of my 600 plus drive so far. So wonderful braking there. Great handling, great interior. And when it comes to that original question that I gave you guys at the beginning of the video, is the convertible actually worth it compared to the coupe? At this point and in this day and age, I would say heck yes. This thing is incredible. And I say heck yes because it is so hard to find cars these days, let alone a car like the C8 Corvette. If you can find any of them, I would definitely say go for it if you're in the market for one, because this kind of is a coupe right now, if you think of it that way. So you got the best of both worlds. So I say yes. You got the money for a C8 Corvette, why not splurge for the extra $7,500 and get the convertible, because it is still a heck of a car. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the new C8 Corvette in the comments section below. That is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel. Before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay golden.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.